Let's get into Fat Tuesdays, man. Let's get into the era of hip hop.
I remember last time he was on the podcast, you wouldn't talk about it.
Right.
Because I was like, you know what they gotta do? Like, I was like, I thought I was gonna be that light bulb over your head. Bing, they gotta do a Fat Tuesday, not knowing you already had in the works. The only thing that sucks about the documentary, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it on Amazon Prime or Prime Video, to me, it was like a class reunion when I watched it. And I'm so mad. I felt like I was a kid that missed picture day.
Right.
When I watched it because it was such an integral part of my career.
Right.
And this is why it wasn't on the documentary. The divorce got announced. I wasn't allowed to come to California because I was avoiding a process server. And we tried to reschedule it, but I couldn't get her served and I couldn't take a chance getting served.
Right.
So I wasn't flying or anything. So I was just like, I can't.
Yeah, and we had you scheduled that week.
Like 3 different times you guys were trying to make it work, and I go, I just can't, and I couldn't tell you where I was at.
Right.
I was paranoid.
I was we were on a Zoom call with, Reggie Hudlin, Amazon, Gramnet, Kelsey Grammer's production company, Original Productions, and they were saying, oh yeah, we have Gary Owen this week. And this was on a Monday. And I think everything had broke that Sunday. I said, oh, we may have to reschedule that.
It broke Saturday.
It broke Saturday, okay.
Yep.
So I was like, is that why? I said, you haven't been looking what's going on? I said, and I told them what happened. They was like, and we don't know if I can talk about this, but if I can't, Eric, you can cut it out.
No.
But that week on the set, it was this guy, this Mexican guy who was trying to get on the set. And he was going back and forth with security and our medic who was on the set. And he was like, they was going back and forth and stuff. And I said, what's going on? He said, this guy said he's here to see some Gary. I'm like, Gary, who Gary? Gary, oh, Gary. What? I said, Gary Owen? He said, yeah, Gary Owen. I said, first of all, who knows we're shooting at the Comedy Store? Because no one knew we were shooting at the Comedy Store. Then who knew that he was a part of this production and he's supposed to be here this week? It was fucking weird. And me and the guy got into it because he was being disrespectful to the black medic. And I stepped in and was like, yo, man, you got to talk to her that way. And he was like, who is that? Who is she to you? And he looked like he was kind of almost homeless. And he just wanted to get on set real bad. Security was like, no, it's a closed set. It's a closed set. And I was putting 2 and 2 together like, was he there to serve?
I don't know.
I'm thinking because when they come to serve you, there's somebody that you wouldn't expect. And I tell you why. And I was like, whoa. Well, how would he know that Gary was going to be here this week? And it was just weird. And I kind of got an idea of how he knew. But when you get served, I got served one time by ex-manager after a show. I was in Vegas doing the Laugh Factory. And this white couple was sitting up front. And they were laughing their ass off, man, having a good time. So I'm outside taking pictures of everybody. And the little old white woman come and say, you were so funny, oh my God. You made me laugh the whole night. You've been served. I mean, I was like, the fuck? And I opened it and it was an old manager who was trying to get money from something he had nothing to do with.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is fucked up. I wouldn't have expected this woman and this old man.
Look like.
You never know. So if strange people come up to you and have an envelope or something in their hand, just avoid the motherfuckers.
Listen, I ain't gonna say what city, I ain't gonna say where, but the motherfucker was chasing me one time. Motherfucker came up like, Gary Owen, like a fan, and I just looked, I didn't even know it was a server. Right. Took off running, the motherfucker tried to throw it at me. Right. I was like this, and I'm looking at my guys, I go, don't fucking touch that shit!
Right.
They're with me, they pick it up, I'm served.
Right.
Man.
Right.
It's that motherfucker. I was running like Morris Chestnut, Boys in the Hood. Like,
Ricky!
Looking back.
Ricky!
Yeah, that's why I couldn't be on it. So when I saw Fat Tuesday, I was like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, man, we were trying to get
it came out great.
Man, Reggie Hudlin and his team, man, the editors and the other producers did a great job, man. They really did. It's funny because I wanted Reggie to direct this. Like, I talked to Reggie about this when he was on the set of Django Unchained. He's one of the producers on that, and we talked about it. I've been working at this documentary for 13 years, 9 Underground. And it was Michael Blackston who planted the seed. We were on a flight one day, and we was going to Sacramento for separate shows. And he was like, man, I miss Fat Tuesdays. He said, man, these young comics need to know what Fat Tuesdays was and how important it was. And that's when the light bulb went off.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh. So I started going through my archives, VHS tapes and shit of what footage I had. And then I grabbed this dude's up and coming director, Bishop Moore. I said, man, let's schedule some interviews. Cause remember we got you at the Comedy Store for that sizzle in the back room. So we interviewed a lot of people. Man, Cedric would come through. Every time I called Cedric to come through and do a spot for the sizzle, he showed up, man. Him and Lunell, Regina King, they was always loyal, always like, whatever you need, just tell me when. And we I sat on it for a while because I was working. You get busy and shit. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, man, I took it to my agency, Innovative Artists, and they were like, you got something here. Then we took it out and started shopping it to production companies, went to Kelsey Grammer's production company. They really liked it. And then, we met with Original Productions, who part of Fremantle, and then Amazon. It's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Then they wanted a big name director. I wanted Regina King to direct it.
Yeah.
But she was busy with, I think, One Night in Miami, so we'd had to wait a year. Amazon didn't want to wait. So we didn't want to wait. And so they wanted this big name director, I won't say the name. I didn't really want him. I'm a fan of his work, but I just didn't want him for this project.
So why wouldn't you want Steven Spielberg? Why wouldn't you?
Well, it's a culture thing. He doesn't know culture.
No, he does. He's adopted.
Yeah, but he didn't know this.
Why wouldn't you?
The Black Comedy Club experience culture.
I'm kidding.
The Comedy Act Theater culture. But so we ended up, man, I said, okay, you send it to the guy, see if he likes it. Send it to him. He loved it, but we had to wait 2 years. And I was like, I'm going to call Reggie Hudlin. And they were like, what? Yeah, you just going to call Reggie Hudlin? I said, I'm going to call Reggie. And I told Reggie about it, and he was like, my man.
Man.
And he and his team did such a great job. Shout out to Byron Phillips.
Now, let me ask you the promos that I saw. The one that I thought was the best was when Kat said, how'd you find out about Jesus?
Man, let me tell you about that one. So
I was wondering if you shot that specifically for Fat Tuesday, or that was just archive footage.
That was archived. When I was working on the sizzle, I would catch motherfuckers where I could. So I happened to be in Dayton, Ohio, staying at the Crown Plaza, and Kat was in the same hotel. I was playing the Funny Bone. He was in town just passing through or whatever. I think he went to holler at Dave. Dave Chappelle. And so Kat was in a hotel. We chopped it up. I said, hey, man, I'm shooting this sizzle for the Fat Tuesday documentary, man. Can I get you on camera just a little bit? We'll shoot you for real when we get up in production. Let's do it. So I had a little handheld fucking camera, and he had his tour bus outside. And I said, I just need 5 minutes, a couple of quotes. Put you in the sizzle. He said, all right, cool. Go on his bus, back of his bus. Now, Kat smokes a lot of weed. Mm-hmm. I don't smoke weed, right? I smoke cigars. So I'm in the back. You've been on tour buses. That back part where the room, the bedroom is.
The headliner is. That's the headliner dressing room.
The headliner dressing room. So we're on the bus, man, that closed area, and I got a show that night. But I'm getting Kat, man, and an hour and 15 minutes later, some of the best shit. He was dropping dimes.
He's just talking?
Yeah. I'm asking questions. He's talking dimes, and the one part they wanted to use for that, I mean, they could have used his whole fucking interview. Mm-hmm. And he said that, man. I said, how'd you hear about Fat Tuesdays? And I'd ask everybody that same question. Mm-hmm. And he would go, how'd you hear about Jesus? People told you. It's the way to go. And I was like, fucking gold. And they end up using that.
But that's a great promo.
Yeah.
That, if I didn't know Fat Tuesday, that would make me watch it.
Man.
That would make me watch it.
And when I was doing the sizzle, I didn't know where to put it. I didn't know if I should put it up front. If I should put it in the back. And at the end, as a sign-off, I mean, he gave me so many good quotes. Kevin Hart did the same thing. So Kevin, I was playing the Virginia Beach, Funny Bone, and Kevin was at Hampton University doing the show. So like, fuck, after my show on Sunday, because he had 2 shows, I said, I'm going to go and see if I can get Kevin. So I went, same little dirty-ass camera, and Kevin got done with his show, and we was in the fucking locker room. Mm-hmm. And his footage, he gave me some gold. And I don't know why we didn't use that footage, but Reggie knows what he's doing. He used the right footage. Everybody that was in it did a great job.
Well, when you talk about Kevin and Kat and stuff, it's like when you're around them, for you to say they're dropping gems. Okay, stand-ups, yeah, they are who they are because of stand-up. Mm-hmm. I say, but when you're around them, then you get it.
Yeah.
Then you get why people gravitate to them. Yeah. Then you get why it translates when they're on stage and everything. It's like this because some people be like, man, I don't like Kev like that. His stand-up, like the one during the pandemic wasn't his best one.
Right.
And he'll admit it.
But see, here's the thing though, and this is why I defend it all the time. I defend that one because people who are big Kevin Hart fans didn't like that special.
Yeah.
I said, here's the thing. First of all, you used to seeing Kevin in the last few years in stadiums, right? And Kevin's real animated. He's real animated, especially when you do stadiums and theaters, and you know that. You got to be animated. You got to play to the motherfuckers way up in the rafters. He's animated, and that's part of what makes Kevin Hart. His animation and his projection, right? When you take somebody and put him in a smaller room, that same energy can't match in that small room. He's at home. He's in the silk pajamas, and being that big in that space, he would look stupid, and he knows that. So you're not used to seeing Kevin a little bit more subdued and calm, and you've grown to love Kevin as the animation guy, as a guy that's big, that's loud, and that's his style. So seeing him in a more tapered down version, you're like, oh, I was expecting this, but then Kevin knows he can't do this in a space like this. It would look stupid.
Trust me, I get it. I'm telling you what other people say.
Right.
I'm not one to criticize a comedian but if I'm gonna say,
and this is to those people. This is not to you.
Yeah.
This is those people who like, well, I didn't like it because you're not used to seeing them like that.
Yeah, but when people do that, I go this. You guys don't get it. There's a reason he's at where he's at. I said you have to be in the room with them.
Yeah,
and then you'll get it. So when you say he was dropping gems at Hampton,
he was dropping
I was
gems,
like this.
Man.
He always is when you're around him.
Chappelle,
same
man.
way.
I flew to Cleveland to ask Chappelle to do the doc. Because I didn't want to go through people and all this stuff. I just wanted to do face-to-face, hey, man. And I heard he was going to be in Cleveland. It was 2019. It was like the 30th, right, of December in 2019. And I called Darnell up. Said, hey, man, yo, I heard y'all going to be in Cleveland. He said, yeah, I'm coming up. I need to take you to the show. Boom, no problem. And they took care of me. Just Dale Chappelle in his dressing room. And I don't like bothering people before they go on stage. I love comedians to be in their zone. I don't want to be there. He's like, oh, come on, guy, what's up, man? And make small talk. He was cool. I said, man, I'm doing the Phat Tuesday documentary. Man, I'd love for you to be in it, man. People don't know why. I'm in less than 30 seconds. I'm in. I said, what? I'm in. I'll do it. And I was like, wow. And like some people who are nowhere on the level of a Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Was sending me up the moon, around the corner,
Yeah.
through the Underground Railroad, to like, oh, well, let me, and you get somebody like Chappelle who's like, I'm in.
We got to realize when you get someone like Chappelle, Kevin Cat, they realize, no, my agent works for me.
Yeah.
My manager works for me.
I learned that 25 years ago.
I'm going to tell them I'm going to do it,
Right.
work it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some people, when they get it, they realize, oh, wait a minute, I got to use the right protocols here. No, go through my manager.
Right.
Go through this.
Right.
So I get it.
And Rock was the same way. I called Chris up, and he was within like a couple of minutes. I'll do it.
Like my cigar went out.
Oh yeah. He said.
I'm like this. Really? I think my shit went out.
Chris Rock was like, I'll do it. And then we didn't get a chance to shoot Chris because his movie came out at the time, and he was on a press schedule. By the time we got
What movie?
He did that. The last movie he did. Forget the last one he dropped. I think it was the one on one of those streaming networks.
Was it a comedy?
It wasn't a comedy. It's kind of a. I think it was a detective one or something.
Yeah, he should have Phat Tuesday. Guy, not ringing a bell.
So
Should have Phat Tuesday.
So the schedules didn't line up, man, because without shooting and like, but I really wanted him as well too. There's a bunch of people I wanted, man, but
Gary
it is
Owen.
what it is. Gary Owen.
Because people don't even know I took it over from you
Yeah.
for a few years.
Yeah.
On the low.
Yeah, I
And
passed the
said,
torch.
Not gonna change the name.
Right.
I changed nothing.
Right.
I was like, man.
Yeah.
I saw it all. It literally was like taking me down memory lane when I watched it. I was like, fuck, I forgot about that. I don't think people realize the magnitude of people showing up at a comedy club on a Tuesday and nobody know who's gonna go up.
No,
There's
No
nights
idea.
you didn't have any A-listers go
Yeah.
up. And
There was
people
no
are just as happy.
There was no social media.
No social media.
I didn't have money for advertising on radio and TV.
But there wasn't one time that I went that I didn't see some borderline A-lister.
Yeah.
And whether it be a Laker, an actor,
Or
a
Richard
rapper.
Pryor.
Got my pick
Or
with
Eddie
Rich
Murphy.
there. Got my pick with Rich
Man,
there.
even man, it's funny. I was just hosting, well, not hosting. I was presenting at the Academy of Country Music Awards in Vegas, and they were asking me on red carpet and said, "Well, what's Fat Tuesday's relation with country music?" I said, "Well, Charlie Pride came to Fat Tuesdays once, country singer, black Charlie Pride, and he was in there. He was surprised I knew who he was, and he was surprised that I knew he played in the Negro Baseball League." And I said that he was like. And I told him back then, I said, "Man, you are the Eminem of country music." He got a kick out of it, man, and met him, man. He was mad cool, but rest in peace, Charlie Pride.
I didn't even know he passed away.
Yeah. Gotta know your country music history, Gary.
I gotta call him. I gotta get him on the podcast.
Right. I know,
Yeah,
right?
get him and Paul Moody together.
Yeah,
What?
right, yeah. And Patrice O'Neal, get Patrice too. Another Fat Tuesday
Pryor.
alumni. Yeah.
Yeah. There was just so many. It's pointless to be like, who went up? It's like everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody went up. You never know who's going to be that. That's the first time I ever did it was Christmas Eve. And I'll never forget, it was like 96, 97. I ain't even doing stand-up hardly at all.
Right.
And I got on, I just remember Shaq was in the room.
Yeah.
Shaq came in, he just got with the Lakers. And Vivica Fox was there, Magic Johnson. And I remember going, don't you guys got families?
Right.
Christmas Eve.
Right.
And I was in awe because, I was in the military. I was still active duty.
Right.
I
Oh,
just
really?
came up. Yeah, I didn't get out till 98. January 98, I got discharged from the
I
military.
didn't know that.
So I'm still active duty. I just
I was
came
on the
up
Kings
on
of
a whim.
Comedy tour.
Yeah, I came up on a whim. So I was just like, who goes out on a Tuesday? And then when I saw it was just, and everybody was dressed to the like,
Man.
not suits. I mean,
The
whatever
B-
the
it was like the
Carl
BT
Kanai.
Awards. Yeah.
Like, whatever
Carl
the
Kanai
cool
would come.
fashion.
Carl Kanai was always there.
Yeah.
He'd give me clothes. Shaq would give me clothes. Twism gear.
Yeah, Twism.
Twism.
I was Twism out, boy.
Man, what?
What was the other one? The D's. Dada?
Dada
had shoes.
Dada had shoes. Dope ass shoes
Yeah.
too. Dada had shoes, gear. Mecca would give us gear. Miyoshi. It was a brand called
Miyoshi.
Miyoshi. They gave us gear. Man, it was a bunch of those brands, man. It was a hip hop store on Melrose that used to be 40 Acres and Mule, Spike Lee's joint. And they moved out, and then this other second base, they took over, and they would give one of my sponsors, so they would give me free gear to give out to the audience.
Man,
Yeah, it was fun, man. The 90s was the shit, man.
those were the days.
Man.
boy. Let's
We didn't have no social media back then.
let's not even talk about the women
Ooh.
that was in there. I was like,
Woo.
man,
Woo.
you didn't have to go to a club.
You didn't. That was the club.
didn't have-
Basically,
Man.
Redman, Method Man would come, man. You name it. Kanye's mom came one time.
Oh, really?
When Kanye, very early in Kanye was there. I remember one time Keisha Cole was there.
Yeah, Keisha Cole sang one night when I was there.
Yeah, Keisha Cole was there, man. She was,
Because that's the thing. You get there, and it's such a vibe
yeah.
that a singer would go and just get up and blow something.
Tyrese was there one night, and I had him sing Happy Birthday because I did the birthday dance. And I had come up and sing Happy Birthday to some birthday girls. And that was, it was just moments like that, man. I remember
love
Joe
Tyrese.
Jackson came.
Tyrese loves me. It's like,
Uh-oh.
I love Tyrese. Here's the crazy thing about me and Tyrese. I guess we got this beef over something so stupid as a Twitter, but I've always liked his music and
Right.
stuff. But
and
I'm
his
like,
acting.
his
He's got acting chops.
Yeah, but I'm like, I don't know why he doesn't like me.
I got a few people that that I've ruffled some feathers, but that's what we
Yeah.
do, man. And I go back and listen to some of my cassette tapes when I recorded, my sets back then, and the shit I got away with saying.
Let me ask you this. Talking about the cassette tapes. Who was the sound guy that sat up in the bird's nest?
It was a few. It was
white
Phil
dude.
with the long hair.
Phil, with
Phil.
the white
It was two.
dude.
With Phil, and
Yeah.
then Danny took over after Phil.
Phil, you only had to tell him once music cues.
Yeah.
And he hit it. Because
Yeah.
at that time, I had the black church joke I would do.
Yeah.
With the music would come. I'm talking about when I caught the Holy Ghost. Da-da-da-da-da, and then I had the boy band shit. I always knew I just had to go to him one time. He goes, got it.
Yeah.
Never had to
Phil was
like,
on top of
hey,
it.
let's run it again. Let's do it. Man, he was.
Phil was the reason why people don't know this about Fat Tuesdays. If you go to the main room, it's big. It holds 400 people, right? And there's a back area that there was no speakers back there. And with a black audience, if they can't hear you, they're gonna start breaking down the table conversations, and that shit's gonna bleed to the front, and it's gonna fuck your setup.
Yeah.
So me and Phil had a conversation. I said, man, how can we get speakers back here? So we put speakers in that back area, right behind the VIP booths. We put speakers on either side, and then we brought in woofers up front. That was a Fat Tuesday thing. Those speakers are still there to this day because for black audiences, if they can't hear the joke, they're gonna tune you out, and it's gonna fuck up the energy of the whole goddamn room.
Yeah.
And now those speakers are still there in that room. They probably upgraded them since then, but it was me renting them $300 a week for that whole sound system, and I ended up just buying it and keeping it there. But that people don't understand it's technical with comedy. You gotta be able to hear what the comedians are saying. It's not like music, you just bob to it and you know the lyrics. This shit, you gotta hear the setup and the punchline. Otherwise, your audience is fucked. And your set is fucked.
Yeah. It was just a vibe, man. You walk out on that stage and you felt, I can't explain, you felt like you were part of history.
Yeah.
Like you realize like, man, we're really like in a moment right here that a lot of the general public doesn't know about.
Right.
But in LA, motherfuckers knew about it.
Comics knew about it. Because comics from the East Coast would come in town and like, yo, I'm staying over the Tuesday, man. Can I get a spot? But
it was so weird because like Black Hollywood knew.
Right.
But mainstream didn't.
They
mainstream
knew,
wanted to come see a comic, they knew where to go.
Right.
They knew where to go. Tuesday nights where you got showcases.
But that's why I created it, because they quit coming to South of Wilshire to see black comics. And I was like, fuck that. I'm taking the hood to Hollywood and showcase these black comedians. And it helped. You know what? Here's the thing. And people want to give Fat Tuesdays credit for a lot of these careers. But everybody would have got to their destination anyway, with or without Fat Tuesdays. Fat Tuesdays, I think, was just the carpool lane. It may have helped people get to the destination a little quicker than if it wasn't a Fat Tuesdays. But everybody who made it out of there, I mean, their talent is undeniable. So they would have eventually got to where they are. It's just that I was glad I was able to be a conduit to be a step on the way to where they are.
I would say 98 to 2000 was the glory years. Even though it was longer, it went a couple years after, started a couple years before. 90 to 2000.
Sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sweet spot.
That was Jordan in 93.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Man,
that was Showtime Magic.
Man.
Showtime Lakers.
Those 2 years?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was because like you said, Magic would come down. Magic came down to see you.
Mm-hmm. Got a meeting with him.
Yeah.
Everything.
I remember when Quincy Jones came to see you. I don't know if I told that story on here.
I don't know. Tell it again.
Quincy Jones came to see you, and he came in the back while you were on stage. You were wrapping up your set. And he's like, man, you from St. Louis? I said, yeah. I know that old raggedy ass city. First of all, I'm talking to fucking Quincy Jones.
Right.
And then he's just a regular ass cat. Man, I know that old raggedy ass city. My aunt used to run a hotel, the Mayfair Hotel down that raggedy ass city. Then he started talking about you. This white boy on stage, acting like he the only one that like black women. He said, shit, Frank Sinatra wanted to marry Billie Holiday.
Facts.
I was like, what? So he was talking shit way back then.
He told me all them stories.
Yeah.
He told me all the stories about all the white legendary actors and performers that liked black women. And they couldn't come out.
Yeah.
He goes, he goes, man, since we put
I call
cat out
it-
the bag, Frank Sinatra, he told me Orson Welles and Lena Horne.
Oh, man, I wanted Lena Horne.
He was like, yo, because they would, one of them, either Frank or Billy or Lena and Orson, one of them would have to go to Europe to rendezvous because they were too popular,
right? To be
in the States to be seen,
and that's in before social media.
Yeah,
Shit.
But Frank was nobody could have power like that right now. Frank Sinatra had power.
No, he had,
He told me the story of when they were doing something in Hawaii, and he called the chief of naval operations to have Navy ships go back and forth during this scene in a movie.
What?
And the CNO had these Navy ships going back and forth all day just to be in the scene.
Damn.
Like this. How you call the head of the Navy?
Damn.
Can you imagine? Hey, I need some Navy ships tomorrow.
I mean, they said he was connected, but goddamn.
There was no
That's
power
beyond connect.
Yeah. But yeah, he told me all them stories. I was like this. And the thing about Quincy, he's not lying.
No, hell no.
He had no reason to lie.
And what makes it dope is the Comedy Store, before it was a Comedy Store, it was Ciro's, which was this restaurant. And that's what Frank and in the Rat Pack you would hang out every once in a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Know
called
that.
Ciro's. Yeah, they used to, and I don't think Frank was a part of this, but legend has it that it was they where the green room is upstairs, the belly room, that one little room.
Yeah.
That was the office, and it actually overlooks the main room, which I think was the main dining room.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I understand, if somebody needed to be, off the
Handled?
calendar, they were like that guy right there, and that's why the legendary of the Comedy Store basement was that's why the place is haunted.
Jesus
A lot of
Christ.
shit went on down there. It was a
I
mob
didn't know
hangout.
that.
It was Cyril. It was a mob hangout. When I studied for Fat Tuesdays, man, I studied the history of black comedy. I studied the Comedy Store. I studied Sunset Boulevard. I studied, the Chitlin Circuit. I studied comedy and slavery. Slaves used to tell comics, used to tell jokes to the masses, keep from getting his ass whooped.
Oh, make 'em laugh?
And if they were funny enough, slave master would take them to another plantation to perform for another slave master.
I never knew that.
So Negroes been on tour for a long time. Shit ain't new to us. But so I took it all the way back there and rest in
Was I
peace.
allowed to laugh at that?
Yeah, man, hell yeah, shit's funny.
I was like this. Did this cigar smoke just kick to my head? I'm like this.
No, yeah. And the thing about it,
Edit
man,
that out, boys.
No, keep it, goddamn it. But no, man. So I studied this doc, man, and then when I approached Reggie, when we finally met up in person, I had 12. I had 5 binders, the big ones, full of research, bios on everybody. Not just your bio for your movie history and everything, but bio. I made my own bio of questions. Like when I talked to you, I looked at your interview again that I taped before and wrote down what you said. So I did that for everybody, pre-interview, and wrote down their stories. Because sometimes you're in an interview, you may forget something.
Yeah.
And so I had and Reggie said, man, out of all the years I've been in this entertainment industry, this is the most well-prepared project I've ever come into.
He was lying.
No, man.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, let me tell you, the way I
Guy.
researched that shit, and because of
fucking with
COVID and because of the pandemic,
with it.
I was off the road, so I had
Yeah.
more time to research.
Right.
So I was like, man, this story is gonna be told. Fuck that.
It's so good. I'm so glad
Appreciate
I'm
it,
not
man.
part of it. Oh, what a time to get divorced. What a time to avoid a process server.
Hey, look, stay tuned. The Fat Tuesday saga continues. I'm gonna tell you right now. Stay
about that?
tuned, because there's a lot of people are interested in the Fat Tuesday business right now.